Okay, let's be honest. Writing 10 different if-else-if statements feels like writing 10 different love letters to the same person. It's exhausting. Wouldn't it be nice if there was an easier way to check multiple conditions without your code looking like a never-ending staircase? Well, welcome to switch statements. Hey friends, Saeed here from Elite Tech Club. Before we jump in, make sure you watched my previous videos on ternary operators and conditional statements because this one is like their cooler and more organized cousin. Alright, let's switch it up literally. Imagine this, you're building a shopping website and you need to handle different shipping methods. Standard, express, and overnight. With if-else, your code will look like something like this. Not bad, but what if you had 10 different options? That's where switch comes in. It makes your code cleaner and easier to read. Here's the syntax of the switch statement. This is the value we're checking. Think of it like the question we're asking over and over. Each case is a possible answer. If the expression matches this value, boom, this code runs. The break is like a stop sign. It tells JavaScript to stop checking other cases. And if nothing matches, we fall back to default, like a safety net. Think of it like a menu at a restaurant. You look at the menu and based on what you order, you get the matching dish. Here is the code that we saw earlier, and we have a variable defined method, which is initially set to standard. And here we're going to convert this nested if-else statements into a switch statement. I'll comment out these lines and let's add a switch statement. Here we can also add it using the list suggested by the IDE. This is the structure of a switch statement, but we can also add it ourselves. So let's do it. Switch, and then we want to put it on the variable defined here. So the method, and then after that, curly braces, and inside we'll need to add the cases. So case, which is also a keyword, case standard, and then we have to add the break. I'll add the relevant code in a second. Case express, break, case overnight, break, and finally our default. Okay, so if the method is equal to standard, for example, then this code here will execute. So now I can simply copy this code and do the same for express and overnight. So here we simply log a text in the console. It can be any code, of course. And finally, we have our default, which is usually the last else statement. And here we have our switch statement completed. I'll save the file and run our code. I'll go to the console tab and let me also refresh the page. Right, okay. So here you see that it's in 3 to 5 business days. So this code inside of this case will get executed. If I change standard to express and save the file again, you see that it changes to 1 to 2 business days. And if I leave it empty, now you see that our default gets executed. Invalid shipping method, which is written here, and this is how our switch works. 2 important notes here. If I remove the break, JavaScript will run through all of the next cases as well. So it's super important to add break after each case. Let's see it. I remove all of the breaks, and if I change method to standard, for example, then you see all of these console logs get executed. Even though it matches standard, the rest will also get executed. If I change it to express, then you see that here it finds the match, but also the next cases will get executed, so overnight and the default as well. So it's important to always add break in our code to avoid this behavior. And the second point that I wanted to bring up is that we also have to add default as well. If we remove it, let's see what happens. I'll remove it and then save the file. Here it's set to express, so no problem here. But for example, if I'll set our variable to an empty string and then save it, nothing happens because we haven't added any code to handle this. And in some cases, it could be problematic. Let's take a fun example. You walk into a coffee shop and you have 3 moods. If you are happy, you order a cappuccino. If you are sleepy, you order an espresso. And if you are sad, you order a hot chocolate. I'll comment out the previous lines and let's add a new variable. Let's mood. Set it to sleepy. Then we have our switch statement. The variable and then curly braces. Inside, we add our cases. So if the mood is happy, then we log. Here is your cappuccino. Break. I'll copy and paste these lines to save some time. If the mood is sleepy, then here is your espresso, and if you are sad, you'll get a hot chocolate. And as mentioned, you also need a default. Just take water. And this is the default. Okay, I'll save it. And here you see that we get this text. Here is your espresso because the mood is a sleepy, and we'll make it into this case here. So this code will get executed if I change it to something else, for example, happy. Then here is your cappuccino because this case now matches our mood. And if I change it to something else, maybe angry, and save it, just take water, and it makes sense. I tried this in real life. The barista just stared at me. Not recommended. Time for your challenge. Write a switch statement that takes a number between 1 and 7 and logs the day of the week. 1 for Monday, 2 for Tuesday, all the way up to 7 for Sunday. And don't forget to add a default case for when the number is outside of this range. Share your solution in the comments, I'll check them out. If this video helped you switch gears into your coding journey, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more JavaScript tutorials. And remember, programming doesn't have to be boring. We are here to make it fun. See you in the next video.